Hello, everyone. I want to spend a little bit of time, which I think is incredibly important, on some of the things that I would suggest that um, organizations are most concerned with today. And I'm going to be talking specifically about organizations that are clients of mine that I've done a lot of business with. I've worked with a lot of teams, worked with a lot of managers, and just things I hear, pressure points, stress points, etc. But I want to share some of the most important ones that seem to be, it's a common thread through all the organizations. Number one, reducing operating costs, taking cost out of the channel, whatever they have to do. There's an incredible force, especially today, of just getting rid of cost that doesn't make any sense, cost that doesn't add any value. Budgets are being slashed, and yet the activity level is not going away. And in some cases, you're losing 20% of your budget, and your activity level has jumped up 15 or 20%. So that seems to be a major pressure point with some of the managers. Another one, which is incredibly difficult to deal with, is increasing revenues at the same time you're reducing cost. That's a pressure point. Hey, take cost out, and yet we want revenues to increase. Even if you're a nonprofit, you have to be concerned about revenue. You have to be concerned about donations. If you're not getting money coming in, you're not going to be able to provide the services to the needy people or to the organization that you're a nonprofit. But in terms of profit, they're looking for other ways of generating revenue, new ways, out-of-box ways, thinking outside the box. What can we do to do this? You can't manage the same way you managed 10 years ago if you have those two dramatic driving forces, cost reduction and revenue. You have to manage differently. You have to go to more of a team-based operation. You have to get rid of organizational silos. You have to embrace things like a much higher level of collaboration and cooperation. The next is kind of interesting, which is more of a rallying cry from senior managers. Hey, we want our people to do more with less. To do more with less. That seems to be a buzzword, if you will, but it's really taking root. And it gets into the fourth area. When people start to talk about doing more with less, what are they talking about? They're really talking about lean operations, going lean. Just the right amount of resources, just the right amount of process steps, just the right amount of inventory, nothing extra in the process. And people, going lean, that's a manufacturing concept. That's Toyota. That's Toyota manufacturing in Japan. Yes, that's where it came from. But right now, hospitals, banks, insurance companies are all looking at going lean. It is spread like wildfire, even throughout the government. U.S. Navy has been working on going lean, Six Sigma for quite some time now. The next one is building leadership capability, building your leadership bench, strengthening it, making sure that the leaders that you have are leaders that are competent, not managers, but they're leaders. And there's a big difference between being a leader and being a manager. And we'll cover some of that stuff later on. Once I'm building my depth and succession planning and all those kinds of things that are very important, leadership development programs, classes, rotational assignments, all those kinds of things that teach our leaders the general management skills they're going to need to take on directorships and vice presidents and all those kinds of things. We want to make sure that we're providing a high level of quality and a high level of service. They're table stakes. If you're not having, the best possible quality you can, if your quality is okay, if your service is okay, you're not going to be around too long. They're table stakes. They get you in the game. If you don't have them, you're not going to be in the game. You're not going to be invited into the game. You're going to be thrown out of the game if you don't have good quality and service. So they're very important. All of this, by the way, is done with one of the most important shaping forces around there, and that's creating a culture of engagement. Engagement is actually nudging empowerment off to the side. Engagement means I trust the employees, I respect the employees, I am going to get them involved in the process. I am going to get them involved in their work, improving their work. The ultimate is every time that somebody walks through that door, they're thinking, what can I do differently? What can I do faster? What can I do that adds more value to the customer? What can I do that takes cost out of the channel? To do this, we have to delayer. We have to drive decisions down to the point of transaction. If a frontline employee can make a decision, my God, why not have that person do that? I mean, that's the ultimate. Let's not have a bureaucracy. Let's empower people. Let's trust people. And one of the critical principles of creating an environment based on engagement is that we embrace failure as part of the learning process. We have to say it's okay to make a mistake. We're going to learn from our mistakes. If I don't have that norm in place, if I don't have that principle in place, and the first time you make a mistake, I smack you around verbally, you're not going to be very innovative in the future. You're not going to take risks. You're not coming out of the foxhole. And the last two items they're really very close together in certain respects and far away in other respects, is going green and safety. Going green means a lot more than just depositing your paper and your plastic in the blue container at the door of the conference room. Going green means that we are not going to subject our employees. We are not going to subject our customers. We're not going to subject the environment, our vendors, or anybody that we come in contact with any type of environmental toxin or anything like that could cause them harm. That's the environment through people. That we're going to look for sustainability. We're going to go to zero waste as best we possibly can. We're going to recycle as much as we can. That's going green. That's the big G. And safety, of course, is incredibly important, and it really depends on your industry. You always need to be aware of it, but some are more difficult than others because some you could lose your life. You know, some manufacturing processes are so dangerous that we want to get down to zero lost time hours, nothing more. Nothing is acceptable beyond zero when it comes to lost time hours. We don't want anybody getting hurt. So those seem to be the areas of focus that I'm experiencing most with my clients. So I hope you enjoy this little video vignette. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Signing out.